All right. Good morning, everybody. Early morning crypto talk. Bitcoin, Brandon from Los Angeles, California. It is Monday, last full work week before Christmas. Some of you guys are already out or on vacation. My oldest just finished his semester of college, second year in. My youngest still has one more week before vacation. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you are listening in from. I see Court Gomes from Florida, Bethany Gibbs, Seattle, Marty Juarez from Victoria, Texas, Humi, what's up? Shauna Ross, Nicholas from Sweden, Tracy from Mississippi, Mr. Stewart from New York City, Shane West from Chicago, Paul from Detroit. Interesting things happening in the crypto space the last 12 hours or so. Renee Hoffman from Maui. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on YouTube. Get more traction out there. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, especially now that we are at the end of the year going into 2019. Now, if you've been following me, you heard me say I did my New Year's resolution at the end of September. October 1st is when I did my New Year's resolution. But if you haven't done it yet, where do you see yourself going into 2019? What vehicle are you going to use to have it? Now, you know, this is 2 years in a row for me where I entered December with one plan of action and ended the year doing something completely different. That happened to me December 2016, and I had no idea I was going to be in crypto 2017. And then 2017, I had no idea I'd be helping build a company called KGX for 2018. Now that we're going into 2019, wow, anything's possible. But I still need to have a game plan, a plan of action. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. All right, so let me go ahead and hit screen share. And this always seems to happen. Every time I miss a crypto talk, I didn't do one last night. Last night I was busy relaxing on Sunday, watching the Laker game and they lost, watching the Rams play the Philadelphia Eagles and they lost, and watching WWE pay-per-view. TLC. So I was chilling last night. I didn't do crypto talk, and it always happens when I don't do it. Something happens in the market that I missed out on. That's why it's like, well, you know, why you do 2 crypto talks a day? Because I've got FOMO. I'm fear of missing out on something. It always happens. The market jumped by 8% yesterday, and I was in the middle of a trade, so I missed an 8% swing. So, but first, let's look at the market right now. Let me hit refresh. So last time I did this, it was at 103 billion, 101 billion, something like that yesterday morning. Now it's at 110 billion. So $8 to $9 billion has been added. Bitcoin dominance dropped from 54.9% to 54.6%, which meant the altcoins have had a run. Let's see, Bitcoin is now at 3460, 5.71% increase. Ripple, 5.88%. Ethereum, EOS. I saw another article. I think this is going to be interesting. Ethereum is worth $91.82. Bitcoin Cash, it's worth more than Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. That's for the first time ever. Ever. Ethereum's worth more than Bitcoin Cash. Wow. Tether's in the red, which means people are pulling their money out of Tether, putting it back into the market. Tron, Cardano, Monero, let's see, best performers, 24 hours. Moac, Ravane, any top 20, Qtum. EOS is up 22%. Look at EOS run. Ontology, Mithril, Factum, Nexo. You know, I've only traded within Bitcoin. I have not jumped in to start trading these other coins that could have big swings like this. When I get comfortable, I'm going to start doing that too. There's a lot of money to be made off of these other coins that swings more than Bitcoin does. Negative last 24 hours. 10x, Guy, Maker, of course the stable coins, because people are taking their money out of it to put into the market. So not really. PoonDX negative 31%. Not that much negative out there. Take a closer look. I did have a trade going yesterday, and I was supposed to be doing it all day. I wanted to do 3 to 4 trades yesterday, but I got distracted. Because I can't be looking at this all day long. I get bored easily. But I had it up. This was killing me. I had it up on my other screen and was not paying attention. And I missed, pull back 24 hours. I missed this. Look at this right here. Now, what does that mean by I missed that? Well, I had a sell order that took place at 32.68. Okay. When that took place, I made 0.77%. I'm sorry, not 7%, 0.77%, less than 1%. 0.77%. Now, you know what? Let's do some math here. What if I only averaged 0.77% a day for a month? That's 23% on my money. So, for example, if I was trading with $10,000, that's $2,300 a month extra. That's 0.77%. Had I been paying attention, I would not have sold there. I would have canceled my sell and let it run up. If I was watching, I've been practicing a strategy so that I don't have to watch these charts all day, which is by going ahead and placing a buy order and a sell order, kind of like what the bot's doing here. 50 Bitcoin sell, 50 Bitcoin buy. Playing with $300,000 right now, doing both sides. And so I've been practicing doing that. When I first began to trade, that's not what I was doing. When I first learned how to trade, I was just watching this. And I was looking at what trend was about to take place yet and making some educated guesses and following the chart all day. So had I done that, I wouldn't have made 0.7%. I wouldn't have sold until it got here. I would have made 7 to 8% on my money. And then buy it if I see the trend is still going up, and then sold here again. Instead, I sold here, probably about right there. Then I had to buy back in up here. So I have a new buy order in right now at 3,500. So my sell order was at, I bought it back in at 34.40. So my next sell order If it goes to 3,500, that's a maybe 1%. But that's if I walk away and this thing keeps going up and I'm not paying attention. I am going to pay attention today, and I'm going to be looking. And if I see right now it's still steady at 6% for the last 24 hours. If I see this curve, I start seeing the bottom Bollinger Bars coming down a bit. Let's go as the last 6 hours. It's starting to go squeeze, but it's above the middle bar. So it's still kind of, there's a lot of volume in here, still kind of pushing up a bit. Last price, 34.59. The low was 32.16. If I see this make a huge run up, I'm going to cancel my 3,500 sell order, and I'm going to wait until I see it go much higher and start to level off. Then I'm going to put my sell order again, see if I can get maybe 2% on my money. If not, I'll go ahead and let that $3,500 sale happen. I'll buy back in on a low, and then I'll place another high order. So in that case, I may do one trade for 0.5 to 1%, and then I'll do a second trade today for maybe 0.5, 1%. So I still end the day at a 2% swing. That's not bad. That's my average. My average right now, I want to get to a point where I am averaging at least 2% a day on my own trading. Why? Why do I want to do that? Well, get into the practice when I have $10,000 in there, 2% a day. That's $200 a day. 200 times 30. That's $6,000 a month. That is my goal to do on my own money. At $10,000, I won't never take out. The profit, the $6,000, I will pull out. I pull out the profit. I could use it to invest in something else. I could use it to put in my own bank, whatever I want. I got to get to that point where I've got $10,000 in there, and I only, 400 something bucks I'm playing with right now. So what matters is not the amount of money you're making. What matters is the percentage of your trades. Even if you're trading with $5, if you're able to do a 4% trade, a 5% trade, 20%, that's what matters. See, this thing is going up again a little bit. 34.62. 24-hour high was 34.65. So yeah, I've got it pushing it. I'm pushing it. I wanted to go to 3,500. I wanted to see it test that mark. The resistance level, really where that wall is at 35.02. So I got mine right before it hits 35.02 at the 3,500. So right now we're right at 34.42, where it's hitting it. But this is much larger. Now, I've been following a new favorite guy that I have now, a guy named DaVinci. He's got a YouTube channel. And the reason why is I think it was Rohan who first turned me on to him. And I was looking at some videos, and I looked him up. This dude has been predicting crypto since 2011 and has been right every time. So much so that big time crypto people like Sonny Decree here and others are saying, is this dude Satoshi? No, he ain't Satoshi. He's just figured out the patterns. Kind of like I figured out certain patterns. I've been right on 90% of my predictions since 2017. Only things that I get wrong and off is the timing. I'm still working on my timing. It seems to always happen. But one of the things, last thing he said that I'm watching for is he said that I believe that the market is in due for at least one big, what's called a dead cat bounce. I heard of that term. I didn't really know what it meant or how to implement it. But a dead man cat bounce, which means, when I used an analogy the other day about basketball. When you drop if the basketball is properly inflated and you drop it, at least the first bounce should bounce right back up to where you released it. But then it starts to go lower as gravity takes effect. If you have a flat ball and you let it go and let gravity take effect, it hits the ground and it does not bounce back up, at least not as high on the first bounce. Same like a dead cat bounce. So what he's saying is he thinks the market is going to have one big rebound, and it's going to fool everybody into thinking that it's an upswing. And then it's going to drop down to the thousands range. That's what he predicts. It's not the first time I've heard a prediction of it going back into the $1,000 ranges. Since it's coming from him, I think it's a little bit more serious. So, which means I can't just rely on doing buy, sell, and walk away. We are at very, very interesting times where this thing can just drop down to the thousands, and you want to do two things when that happens. One, either move your coins and when it's at the high into tether and sit. In fact, the moment you start seeing a huge, let me say this again for people that just came on. I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. This is a disclaimer. I am just sharing my suggestions and experience that when we get a sign that there's going to be a huge drop, just like we saw here, there was a huge spike that went up, you move your stuff into Tether or one of the other stable coins. Don't ride the wave all the way down. Move it into Tether and sit back and wait. When it bottoms out, then buy back in. If it goes down to the thousands, you're going to double your Bitcoin. How long it stays down here, don't know. But the next rebound is going to be higher than it was in 2017. Okay? According to DaVinci. He hasn't been wrong yet. So, well, listen to him. I subscribe to his channel. Let me go to his channel. DaVinci's YouTube channel. And it's actually his name. His name is DaVinci. His parents named him Vinci. Go figure. Yeah, I might end up reaching out to this dude too in the future. Not just yet. I want to watch him for a little bit. Take a look at more of his stuff. See if I could find some patterns in what he is looking at. And it's not like he uploads a lot of videos. You know, as I'm broadcasting twice a day, he puts up something once every couple of weeks. Oh, look at this. Just over the last year, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's got 8 videos. I do 8 videos in less than a week. So I'm gonna keep him in my radar screen. He may not say a whole lot, but when he says something, it means something. All right, so let's go on to some articles, and I hope what I said has made some sense to people. I gave you guys something for free. Normally, I would have saved that for our members only in our KGX community group. So let's take a look at the some articles here. Which one do I want to do first? Yeah, since I'm talking about the bounce, Bitcoin price bounces 8.3% in a much needed bull action. Will it sustain? I don't think so. I am doing a bet though, because I want to make some good percentage today. I did 0.77% yesterday. So hopefully, and I know I can't go off a hope, this sucker hits 3,500. It's got to go up $50 more. That happens, my sell order kicks in, and then I'm going to sit. I'm going to wait. I'm going to watch it drop because I know it's going to be a correction when it hits that high, just because I'm looking at the wall here. And then I'm going to buy back in and do it again. So come on, baby, hit 3,500 for me. All right. So next is Bitcoin price bounces. After setting one new low after another, the Bitcoin to dollar rate on Monday underwent a sharp bullish correction to register a fresh high at 34.50 fiat. The upside action followed a low volume consolidation trend over the recent weekend trading session. The late night activity on Sunday, nevertheless, looked sharper and trade volume across the leading Bitcoin pairs surged. It remained average as the Monday session came into play in Asia. The European hours, however, took the market by surprise. That's why we were asleep when this happened. By noting a sharp rise in Bitcoin value, then I got to kick myself. I'm up till, no, last night I went to sleep at 11. I'm up sometimes until 2 a.m. That's when I got to be looking at the market because Europe and Asia is in full swing. Well, it went from 32.38 to 34.50 in just 1 hour. 1 hour. 8%. You know what? I'm just curious. Let's do some math here. This bot, 50 Bitcoin at 170, let's say $170,000. Times 0.8%. That's not right. 178 times 0.08%. Am I doing that right? I know math ain't my thing. There you go. That bot made $13,600 in 1 hour. $13,600. 1 hour. Well, since it does micro trades, it's probably over the course of that trade, because I've noticed something else with this bot. It is very, very conservative. Here's for an example. It's got a sell order in for 34.64, and it's got a buy order in for 34.20. So I've noticed that all of its actions was within a $40 swing. 34.20, 34.60, and it doesn't matter what the price of Bitcoin is. It always stays in that $40 swing. So that's another lesson to be learned. Let's look if there's any other. I thought I saw another bot in here, or it might just be a whale. Where's that at? I saw 30 something. No, not on the buy side. What about the sell side? 8 Bitcoin there, 27,000. 545. No, I don't see any anymore. So that was a one-time thing. So this is the only bot that's operating. That's a big bot. $40 swing. So you might want to take a note on that as well if you're doing your micro trades. And I noticed that it is always adjusting as the price of Bitcoin changes. What it does is buy and sells, it adjusts to it. Find that interesting. What is the market last? Last buy was 34.44, 34.55. Sell at 34.55, 34.44. I still got $60 more to go to get to that 3,500. It was a buy at 34.60. Wow. All right, stay on track, Brandon. You see what happens? You start trading, and now that's all my mind is at right now. Get to the news. The BTC USD 4-hour chart sourced from Coinbase is displaying Bitcoin in a breakout scenario out of a falling wedge formation. In many of our previous analysis, we had noted the digital currency trending inside the said pattern, which, according to its technical definition, results in a breakout action scenario that lasts as much as a height between the upper and lower trend line. As of now, this height spans an area worth $500. Not expecting BTC USD to stick to technical definitions, one can still look at the pair attempting to extend its bullish action, with the nearest resistance in sight at the 100 period moving average at 35.46. I like that. I like that. So this thing's saying that this thing can go to 35.46. So yeah, I'm going to watch. If I see it really approaching that 3,500, I'm canceling it. And then I'm going to watch it go beyond it. And then I'm going to place my sell order again. So I like that. So it's saying that, yeah, based on the wall, it might hit at least 35.40 before it hits resistance to pop right back down again. Okay. I'll take that advice. At press time, the pair is trading at 33.89, up from 8.3% from its yearly low. The BTC USD 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Ooh, oh, okay, this is their own. Because I'm looking at the 6-hour chart here. That's all that Polonius gives you up to. So yeah, I see a squeeze still happening. Came down a bit. Oh man, 34.35. Yeah, it's coming down a bit. The last 15 freaking minutes since I've been talking. Feel like MSNBC, whatever I say, do the opposite. So the last 15 minutes has been in the negative. Let's see if it can recover from that. All right, let's see. 4-hour chart from Coinbase is displaying Bitcoin in a breakout scenario out of a falling wedge, blah, blah, blah. Not expecting BTC to stick to technical definitions. 100, yeah, okay. A look at BTC shorts could also bring more light to the future action. Whenever the volume of these shorts passes 40 to 42K, bulls trigger a short squeeze. The current rally coincides with 2.3% of the total shorts getting closed. If the percentage rises, expect Bitcoin to extend its upside correction further. Okay. The range we are watching today has 33.74 fiat serving as interim support and 34.50 as interim resistance. So I'm betting that it's going to hit past that resistance, 34.50. Why? Because I bought at 34.40. This is where I bought it right now. That's why I wanted to go to 3,500. But if 34.50 is that resistance, you know, I got to hope it breaks or watch to see. I don't like to use that word hope. We'll have to see if it breaks past. If not, and I see it go considerably down, then I need to put in cancel that and put in a quick sell order lower so I don't lose too much. Remember, this day trading stuff is not about holding for the long term. So you know that old saying, you only lose if you sell. That's true. But when you're doing day trading and micro trading, sometimes you sell at a loss so that you can get back in the market and take advantage of the swings, and you can make up those losses within the same day. You know, so that's something to keep mindful of. I learned that one too. I learned that the hard way. Looking to the upside, any sign of a green candle formation coupled with high volume will have us enter a long position towards 34.50. At the same time, we will maintain our stop loss order 1 pips below the entry point to support our overall risk management. This article came out at 38 minutes ago. It's already passed or hit that 34. See, it went to 34.69, so it already passed the 3,500 mark. Can it get higher? Because I'm betting on it. Well, we shall see. 34.41. So it's at least $1 higher than what I bought it at. If I sold now, I make $1 or equivalent to it. Probably about 50 cents. All right, next article up. Which one? I'll do this one. BitPay CEO Stephen Pear believes mass crypto adoption is 5 years away. Mass crypto adoption, 5 years away. I'm cool with that. Gives me 5 years to stack up the coins. BitPay CEO Stephen Pear has gone on record to say that he believes that mass crypto adoption is only 3 to 5 years away. He talked about the possibility of wider adoption when recently chatting to the American news network CNBC. 1 year ago, when Bitcoin prices scaled the heights of $20,000, crypto adoption seemed to be even closer than ever before, and only a matter of time. However, calmer heads believed that 10 years was closer to the real number. Okay, so I'm 42 years old. I see my 40s is all about positioning in the crypto space. When I reach my 50s, we should be in a complete crypto world, and I want to have massive millions worth to my name in my 50s. Okay. Gosh, I can't believe getting to my 50s. Is crypto adoption closer than we think? The BitPay head honcho believes mass adoption is closer than we think. In the interview with CNBC, Stephen Pear talked about the potential of the BTC ETF and the possibilities of mass crypto adoption. When asked if the BTC ETF would speed up wider adoption, Pear said that the ETF is not the be-all or end-all of the crypto industry. He pointed out that wider adoption will push prices higher if history is a guide. When talking about the timeline of mass crypto adoption, the BitPay boss was quoted as telling CNBC that, "I used to say 10 years, but now I think it's more like 3 to 5 years until you can go into a restaurant, a retail establishment, and just everybody's going to expect that the store will be able to accept a blockchain payment." There has been greater adoption by businesses in the past 12 months to use crypto as a form of payment, but the recent price crashes might negatively affect adoption in the meantime. Crypto prices driven by speculation, not utility. CCN recently discussed Stephen Pear's statement that speculation drives crypto prices more than utility. In the same interview with CNBC, Pear told the news outlet his opinion on speculation versus utility by saying, "A very big component of the price is certainly speculation. It's investors speculating on the future usage and adoption of this technology. A small component of the price is actual utility. And that's what BitPay is focused on, using the platform and delivering products to our customers that they find valuable." It's interesting to point out that the speculation is based on future usage, which is basically another phrase to explain mass crypto adoption. If mass crypto adoption depends on whether or not businesses will use and accept crypto as payment for services, a 3 to 5 year window seems like a sensible prediction and something that is very possible. 3 to 5 years, okay? And the last article up. Hit by sanctions, Iranian students in the UK use Bitcoin to bypass banks. Now, I have not covered this type of news in quite a while. This is very, very important because this is going to affect us as Americans living off the US dollar. One of the things that can kill our economy, our way of life, is if our enemies are able to take away one of the advantages that we hold over the planet. You know, I said this since the beginning, since World War II. There's only two main things the United States has over the rest of the world: diplomacy and our military. Our military will never be touched. It can never be rivaled. We have the biggest, baddest military this planet has ever seen. Our military budget is more than the rest of the world's combined. Nobody can touch us on that. However, we don't lead with military, we lead with diplomacy. And when you hear the word diplomacy, we're talking about the fact that the world is run by the US dollar. Who controls it? Washington. And when a government or agency isn't doing what we want them to do, we slap sanctions on them. That's what diplomacy means. Americans don't understand that fact that, we think diplomacy is a nice, good word. But if you're on the opposite end of it, it means do what we say or else you're going to face economic hardship. So if you're on the other side of the U.S. diplomacy, you're not liking America too much. You got to know the other side. See, when I was in debate, I was taught if you want to be a great debater, you must, one, learn to have empathy. That's a word that's lacking in American society. The ability to understand and empathize with another's point of view that's different than your own. You must learn empathy. You must understand not just what the other side is saying, but why. Where are they coming from? Okay, I'm going to sound like a real nerd right now because my son, when he was younger, used to read the Star Wars extended universe, after Return of the Jedi. And the Empire had a general named General Thrawn. He was the greatest strategist the universe had ever seen. And the reason why is because he would delve himself into his enemy's culture. He would learn everything about them, what made them think, what made them tick, learn their language, learn how they think. That's how he was able to outwit them, like Sun Tzu. So I learned in a debate to always know whoever you're debating against or arguing against or your enemy, know what it is they're arguing and why. Americans have a hard time doing this, even with ourselves. Americans have different points of views. Not that one's right or wrong. It's just people believe different things. That's what it is to be an American. You have the right to believe as you wish, not have a government force their beliefs onto you. So by taking that, and you look at our enemies, you look at Iran, you look at Russia, you look at China, look at North Korea. Their ultimate goal is to get away from Washington. They can't beat us on the military. They can't compete with our economy. But what can they do? Let's get away from the threat America holds over us, sanctions. How do we do that? Let's get away from using the US dollar. Here's an example. Hit by sanctions, Iranian students in the UK. So these are students from the UK who are living abroad. In fact, these are rich kids, in other words, okay? This is the elite of Iran sending their kids to Europe to go to school. Did you know Kim Jong-il, the ruler of North Korea, got educated in Europe? So they use Bitcoin to bypass banks. And this is why I have my criticism of Craig Wright talking about banks are a necessary evil, whatever, man. The whole point is we want to get away from using the banks. That's what crypto's all about. Before cryptocurrency started to be widely used for speculation, they were first of all meant to be an unstoppable method for people to control their own money. A new example that this is still a needed use case comes from the UK, where Iranian students have to bypass the banking system, which they can no longer access due to sanctions, because when Trump issued sanctions on them, their parents' companies, all their accounts got frozen. So if you have kids, you're an Iranian multimillionaire, and your kids are studying abroad, and all your bank accounts were frozen, how do you get money to them? Well, the kids figured it out. Call their mom and dad, say, hey, use Bitcoin. Back in early November, the U.S. successfully pressured the banking transactions network, SWIFT, to cut Iran off from the global financial system. That is a power the United States wields. This is now reportedly causing Iranian citizens studying at universities abroad to turn to cryptocurrency in order to be able to fund their tuition. the U.S. pulling this, we're actually hastening our enemies' move into the crypto space because they're doing it out of necessity. United States is not in crypto yet out of necessity. Who has the advantage now? They do. Maziar Bahari, the editor of a news portal for Iranian citizen journalists based outside the country, Iran Wire, explained the situation to the British media. They are using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in order to get money, adding that he heard that many students of the University of Cambridge specifically are having issues securing banking services in the UK. The British newspaper also reports that the students are advised by some UK institutions, such as the University of Reading, to fly back to Iran and bring large amounts of fiat cash notes to pay for their classes. Heck no. First and foremost, you're not allowed to travel with more than $10,000 cash, fiat cash. But imagine this. The university is telling their students how to get around American sanctions. Wow. This can bring its own set of legal problems for the students as they will try to cross international borders with the money. But the old established academic payment system appears to have no other option for them. Besides individual Iranian citizens, such as students studying abroad, the government of the Islamic Republic may also be using cryptocurrency to dodge economic sanctions. You think? What would you do? This is what I mean by empathy. If you are an Iranian and this big country across the ocean is closing all your bank accounts and putting sanctions on you, what would you do? However, this appears to be a very small phenomenon so far, as FinCEN claims that since 2013, Iran's use of virtual currency includes at least $3.8 million worth of Bitcoin-denominated transactions per year. The country might soon follow a similar path as Venezuela, launching a national digital coin in order to try evading sanctions on a larger scale. So you see what's happening here. They're getting into this crypto space because they're forced to. Now, of course, the ignorant American would just say, just close down your nuclear sites and you don't have to go through all this. I'm not talking about the government. I am talking about the citizens. They have no say-so on what's going on with the Iranian government. And it's forced. We do this because we want to force hardship on the citizens so that the citizens will be fed up with the hardship and will turn on their own government. That's how we've had coups and whatnot in other countries for the last 70 years. The United States has been very successful at that. When you get your people to turn on the government. Do you know? This is when you got to know your history. In the 1860s, the American government was afraid of foreign adversaries doing that exact same thing to us. That's why they eliminated and made illegal all foreign currency in the United States. The only thing you could use is money that was denominated and backed and distributed by the U.S. government. No more citizens coining their own money. Can't use the French or the French, the real? Oh no. What's the franc or the British pound back in the 1860s, or the Spanish gold. They made certain things illegal. Do you know what they used to do back in those days? Because all the gold was minted in a way that had the seal of the country. They would melt all of that Spanish gold and then re-mint it into a new version so that they can mask that it came from Spain. So the U.S. government knows this strategy because we prevented it being used against us in the 1860s before the Civil War. And we're doing the same exact thing to the rest of the world. And their citizens are like, okay, enough of this. What does that mean to us? And I'll end it with this. This is why geopolitics is so important. Doesn't matter your own personal politics, okay? Doesn't matter what you believe. I only go with reality. The reality is that if other countries continue down this path of trying to launch their own digital currency or take advantage of cryptos with the sole intent of avoiding U.S. sanctions, then they are going to be more emboldened to do whatever the heck they want to do and not care what the United States says. In other words, they're going to call our bluff and say, yeah, your sanctions aren't going to work on us. So what you going to do now? You're going to bomb us? Bomb us. This is a step closer for World War III. On a smaller scale, if these same countries are no longer need the US dollar, they're now able to do trade with each other for food and oil and other economic goods and leave the United States out of it. They don't need us for that. And they start selling all of our debt that they own right now. What happens to our economy? What happens to our debt? What happens to each and every one of you, your personal wealth, when your money's inflation goes sky high? It's not worth nothing anymore because nobody wants it. See, it's not the fact that the US dollar has confidence from the people and backed by the US government. It's that the world is also backing it since World War II. When that's taken away, what happens to our economy? This is why you must pay attention to this stuff and why now you take this opportunity to protect yourself, your family. Like Jim Rohn said, build a financial wall so high around your family that nothing can penetrate it, not the U.S. government or foreign and abroad. That's where cryptos come in. That's why I'm working as hard as I am to get to this point. So with that, I hope you guys learned something new. As always, that is the point. We will see. Let's take one last look at the market real quick. I will probably be back tonight for late night crypto. Oh, wait, 34.58. Oh, wait. That's coin market cap. I need some more. 34.50. There we go. That's the resistance level right now. Can it get above this? Man, should I go ahead and sell? That's what's the sell orders at right now? 34.50. What's the bot doing? 34.67. The bot's got it at. 34.67. What did the bot buy in at though? 34.19. So yeah, same thing. See, I bought in at 34.40. I need a higher percentage. I'm gonna keep mine at. Dang, it went back. See what happened? It hit the resistance at 350 and then bounced right back down. 34.46. It's like hitting a wall and then bouncing back down. It's got to pass that wall. Here's the wall right here. If it passes the wall, it can shoot sky high. If not, it's going to come right back down here. I got to watch this very closely because I'm having a big bet for that 3,500. But I might want to follow this bot. It's got its sell order at 34.67. But that's that's 40 points from where it bought in. See, that only gives me $17. That's what, 0.2%? I'm sorry, 0.2% gain, which isn't bad, but I'm trying to hit a certain goal. So I'll watch this closely. Anyways, hope you guys learned something new. We'll see you all tonight, late night crypto talk. Bitcoin Brandon. One more week. What are you doing with KGX? I'm also going to have another strategy. I was just going to let my trades work up to 10,000. I'm switching that up now since Bitcoin is so low. I'm going to be adding more money to this account and steadily getting it up, at least get it to the $1,000 range. So now these trades have some meaning to it. If I do, 2% on $1,000, that's $20 that adds to that. If I'm doing 5 to 10% a day, that's, $50 to $100 that can be added to it. So Anyways, see you all this evening. God bless. Bye-bye.